You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, we're back on this lovely fall day. At Lisa Schwartz, who needs no introduction in the known Western world. and her friend Jessica, who is also a client. Is that correct?
Yes, she's a resident.
Resident.
I am a Ministries, yes.
I don't know what the phrase would be.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's fine.
But she's resident in one of the facilities.
Yes.
Is it true that, she beats on y'all and makes y'all, like an orphanage and all for twist?
Every day. No,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yes,
She
well.
is such a good example of just really how to flow in life. Mm-hmm. I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah, well, yeah, when you have all these kids and grandkids, I guess you learn just to take what's seriously,
Yes.
and the rest of it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do a lot of laughing.
Yeah. But today we're going to talk about the Crazy 8 programs. Also, you have an event this weekend, right?
Yeah, so Ocho Loco, that's our annual 5K. It's here in Burleson at Chisholm Hall Trail, and it starts at 8 a.m. And people can register online. And here's the fun part, Mr. Allard, is that you can sign up to walk, you can sign up to run, or you can sign up to sleep in and support. So we have made it possible for everybody to partake in the event and be a part of supporting our mission at Crazy 8 Ministries.
Well, at the end of the show, let's if we have time, we will have time. We'll make time. We'll find the page and walk through it.
I think Taylor might be able to look through and find the
I'm sure he
little...
will.
Because we just had a show about this a little bit ago. So.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he will. He's
He's pretty
a wizard.
savvy back there. The wizard, the producer. We're going to call you the wizard.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's typical for Halloween, though. I kind of like it.
You
Okay.
have
That's cool.
you have upgraded from producer to the wizard.
The wizard. Just
Hello.
don't look behind the curtain here.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, let's talk about a couple of the sponsors here. I mean, it is,
All right.
it's makes all this possible, all this joviality. Anyway, CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. Check out their page, CrossFitBurleson.com, for lessons, plans, classes, trainers, the whole thing. It's a supervised workout, so it's a great workout. It's a pretty serious workout, so, go there with some intent, but there you go. Also, thank you to Shandy Stogsdill, the Stogsdill Group. She's out selling. It's really, I've been talking to a couple other real estate agents, and they're making, sales, but it's slowed down some.
Yes.
It's slowed down some. And there's a whole raft of reasons for that, mostly the interest rates. But see, you need somebody. I also have another sponsor who can help with that too. The two of them can help you navigate all that, because I'd hate to be doing that on my own, because I wouldn't know what to do. And so when we sold our daughter's house back in July, she was a great deal of help. And so I definitely would recommend her for that. Now, come on, this thing is not doing what I want it to do, which is not unusual. All right, there you go. Also, thank you to Otto at our place. Hope everything is going well. I'll be there at the end of the week. I know he's got a lot going on for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if you want pies and whatnot, you might want to put your order in pretty soon, because there'll be a point where he's going to be full of orders and he won't be able to accommodate you last minute, something like that. So, get your type of pie, they're all great, and then put an order in. So our place on the corner in the highway of in Osbury, you know where it is, you love it, you know it. Okay. Also, Wild Cigar and Culture, I was just there last week. I'm going to drop by again today to visit with Nathan about a couple things. So I always enjoy going there, because I like to see the scene, what's going on with it. They got stuff going on there, and it's really pretty good to see all the people there during the day working and having a cigar, having a drink, whatnot. And it's like, what kind of job is that? What didn't have jobs like that when we were
I don't
kids.
get it either. I'm like, we go in there during the day. I'm like, what? There's a lot of people in here, like straight up during the day. So.
Yeah, I know. It's like we needed these jobs when I was younger. But anyway, also, thank you to Tiffany Nico over at Local Life. It'll be coming out probably this week. Today's last day of October. Usually she has it in your mailbox by the 2nd or 3rd of the month. So I would definitely check that out, because I when I go to some of these retail stores, like Gala's or with Southern Gym or Autos, they have them on the counter, so you're getting more coverage just who's getting them in the mail. So it's a really good way to reach out to the community, particularly if you got Christmas activities going on. There's a lot going on with that. I think I got all the groups I needed here. Okay, good. I'm just trying to forward it. And sometimes Facebook says, I don't think so. Also, Burleson Buzz with Cody O'Brien. He's got the latest news on the city council or the school district, the football scores for the local teams. Also, whatever major news event he's covering. He's trying to replace the Burleson Star, and he's doing a really good job. And beginning in about middle of next month, I'm going to write a monthly column for him, just what's on my mind.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's on my mind?
What's on my, I know what it's, I mean, I'm going to, local stuff, maybe, who knows, or maybe just some heavy duty philosophy. But anyway, who knows. Now, Jessica, when did you first become acquainted with Lisa here?
I became part of the program in July 25th of this year. So I've only been there a few months.
What is it that entailed? You're talking about being part of the program. What exactly are you doing?
So this program is to help those that have been caught into like a poverty mindset or become homeless or in a situation that you just don't ever think that you'll ever end up being in. And they provide a housing environment, counseling, just really working through like the root causes, the deep trauma to help you to have a safe place to get healthy again, to get you back into a functional society, which is super important. I really enjoy just the people that are involved, the sense of community. We have a really great sense of community, which I love. It pulls you out of your comfort zone and the things and the lies and the deceit that you tell yourself or that you were raised with, the dysfunction, and helping you overcome that. They help with, there's different facilities, right? And so we have like, I'm in the singles community.
That's where we get Liz is chiming in.
Hello.
That's where you get the
Hi, Liz.
real time comments.
Yes. And so, so like I'm in the singles facility. And so, but I know that there's for families, there's like an extended program for people that are like stay to save, which I think is really awesome. So it gives you an opportunity to really just as you're healing and have a safe environment as you're healing and going through the things that have caused you to get into this mindset. And then it provides, looking for the right words, you don't have to stress about the normal mundane things,
I guess.
if that makes sense.
It does make plenty of sense.
And so, so you have that time to just really process and then get the foundation back that you lost, which is really critical.
Is her story fairly typical, Lisa?
She actually has a very unique story. So I would say no. And I think her story is a little bit shocking, and it is kind of this could happen to anybody type story. And I mean, Jess, I'll let you.
No, that's fine. I don't mind sharing.
I don't ask too many questions that may be a little bit uncomfortable.
She's comfortable sharing. She shared on the last.
I don't mind sharing because it really helps to open the mindset for people to know that you never know when your life is just going to all of a sudden be ripped out from underneath you, pretty much.
I've talked with Lisa plenty of times, and also we talk with Harvest House, I talk with Promises Community, and they all kind of work in the same areas more or less. They overlap a bunch. And the Burleson homeless situation and people in your situation is a lot more prevalent than what a lot of people realize.
Right.
And it's, a lot of people living in cars and things of that nature. The old mindset is these things happen to certain types of people who live certain kind of lifestyles. And what we talked about prior to the show made it sound like, for the grace of God, go I, because I could have just as easily been there. So you want to tell us as much about this as you want.
So back in 2021, my husband passed away. And so I became a widow. During that time, back in 2019, I had gotten hurt and wasn't able to work. We had made a decision, him and I had made a decision that I would go on disability, and because he wanted me to have still functionality in life and to be able to enjoy life, and didn't want me to get hurt more because my injuries, as I had shared with you previously before the show started, that back when I was pregnant with my son, I went back to work right after having him, and my pelvis hardened out of alignment, which created a spiraling effect of physical damage. to I just like my lower back is like totally screwed up, and I had issues with my neck, my knees. Anyway, so it just kept re-injuring myself. And so I just was not able to fully heal and function. And so my husband wanted me to stay home. So I had a disability case. So my health had gotten worse. I wasn't able to work and just rally and power through and just take care of things, right? And then when he died in 2021, it just broke me. Like literally broke me. I went through a mindset where it was just me and my son, and I was already dealing with the process of I was going to become an empty nester and being a mom and a wife. It's just a process that, when that's your life and you have to rethink, it's like, okay, well, who am I in this, So like spiritually, like I said, it just literally broke me. I could not function. It was just a different level of trauma. And I had trauma in my life. I'd done years of therapy. I come from a background of a lot of dysfunction, a lot of abuse, a lot of sexual abuse, other things of that nature. And so I had been able to rally and overcome those things. But when he died, it just was a totally different experience. The person that all of your goals, your whole life, everything that you want to focus on is taken from you.
Well, I'm sorry.
Anyway, no, you're okay. But there was a small amount of money that did come to take care of us. But then, because there was nothing else to sustain us, and I had family that came to live with me to help, and it didn't, we were waiting on my disability case, and nothing was coming through. And I just got to a point where I tried to go back to work, and I lasted 3 weeks, and my body, I was so exhausted, I could not function. And I just felt so discouraged and so disheartened. And so when I lost my house in March of this year, I didn't know where I was going to go officially. I had seen and was following Lisa on TikTok, which was awesome. I know social media, right? And just the teachings, and the Lord was really ministering to me because the Lord has really been healing me, and has really healed me. I can't say healing me. I really feel like He's officially healed me. I mean, yes, I get emotional. I just feel the love of the Lord on me. It's just, I'm in this new season right now, in this new level, and I'm just super emotional right now, because I just feel that so much. But I didn't know about her program as far as the housing program when I first started following her. I just knew about the ministry side and just was really drawn to the teachings that the Lord was really ministering to me through her. And so when I lost my house, I thought I was going to be staying in my car. My son had went and was living with his girlfriend and her mom, and he was taken care of. And so I didn't have anywhere else to go. But my ex-husband, who I originally came to Texas with, because I'd been married before.
Okay. I was just...
Sorry. Yeah. I had been married once before.
Okay.
I had been married. That's who my ex-husband I came here to Texas with.
Okay.
But we, he allowed me to sleep on his couch temporarily. And then the Lord I pulled up your website, found out about the housing program, applied for it. And I just went to a really dark place for like 2.5 months. I just gave up on life. I really just had no sense of direction. I was like, I'm like, I have nothing else to offer.
Yes. And I've talked to Lisa before about part of the most difficult part of her job is having to decide who can take access to facilities, because they aren't infinite.
Right.
And so, I think the Lord really did have a hand in that, because it's just, I don't really believe in coincidences that much.
No.
And I think that was you were directed even if you didn't know it.
Yeah.
And you were directed whether you know it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. And I think what I love about not what I love about Jess's story, but I think she captures really what we try and communicate so much, which is at the heart of poverty is mental and emotional inability to create some sort of stability. And the higher our emotions go, the more difficult our circumstances get, the more trauma we experience, the lower our decision-making skills get. And you get stuck in this space of being stuck. And she talked about like that darkness that came on her and just this feeling like, I just can't do life anymore. Like I can't make decisions. I have no ability to navigate my life. And I think a lot of people think, that what we do, what Harvest House does, what Promises does is basically providing a resource. And it is. But that's not what heals a Jessica Copeland. What heals a Jessica Copeland is coming alongside her with the love of Jesus and really helping her heal mentally and emotionally and spiritually.
So, Jessica, when you were seeking out this type of situation, was the spiritual aspect something you wanted as well, or something that you discovered?
No, I've always been very spiritually connected.
Okay.
We talked about this. I was raised Mormon, which never felt that was normal. I was the black sheep in the family, so to speak.
Wait a minute. I guess I misunderstood. I mean, you felt like the Mormonism you were brought up with wasn't doing it for you.
No.
Okay.
No. I never felt the Holy Spirit. I just felt something was off and missing. And that's okay. And I'm nothing against anybody in any...
Oh, no, I understand. Because it does... because I know Mormon people, and they're all fine people. They're
amazing
Right,
people.
right.
The majority of my family is that.
And my new sponsor's Mormon. And he's a very fine man.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So I just didn't want to veer off into this was about Mormonism, because it's not.
Oh, no.
No.
It's just a part of her story that there was a incompleteness for her personally.
Because so let me just explain a little bit. They're amazing people, and the majority of my family is Mormon. I was raised in Utah, and I just never felt that. I felt like there was something missing. I just never felt the Holy Spirit there, and I've learned over time that it's not necessarily the church; it's the people. It's having that relationship,
Right?
With
it always
the Lord.
comes back to relationship,
and
yourself.
it really is just a relationship. And so there was I would say maybe a misunderstanding on my part in that. Okay. And so I've always been very connected spiritually. Always just knew there was something different, a different understanding, a different something. I was just being called differently. So I've always had a relationship with the Lord, but I always knew the Lord. I didn't always have the strongest relationship with him. I wasn't always led by him in my life. I struggled with a time of addiction. Alcohol was probably my biggest thing that the Lord delivered me from. And I'm grateful because on August 30th of this year was a year that I had become sober. Like I'd quit and gone back and quit and gone back and quit. And I just would get so frustrated. But I finally, after Ernie died, I just got to a point like that. I just wanted to numb the pain.
Yeah.
And the Lord delivered me on August 30, 2022, where I had never been so hungover in my life. And that was the first experience, like the Lord delivered me. Like I had never been so sick. And because I was going to commit suicide that night, I didn't want to live anymore. So anyway, I was very, very connected, and the Lord led me to my church, which is Transforming Truth Ministries in New Braunfels. The presence is so strong there. Our pastor is amazing, and just the presence is so strong. So and I shared this with Lisa, like I was following the Lord. I was in my discipleship class. I was doing what the Lord had called me, but there was a sense that when I lost my house, I just shut down. Like I walked away from the Lord. The Lord didn't walk away from me. And I just felt so broken in that. I was like, I've lost everything. Like, what more do you want from me? Like, why am I even here? But the thing that I've come to understand in what he's shown me and what the Lord has shown me is that I needed to be here. This is where I needed to be. And I had prayed and asked the Lord, it's like, put me where you want me. If you really want me to be here, if I have purpose here, put me where you want me. And he opened the door for me to be here with her in the Crazy Eights program, because I had applied. I remember they were originally, I wasn't even going to be able to move in until the fall, which would be like right around now. And the Lord moved to like at such a rapid rate. It's like an opening came up. We did interviews. Kyler called me, and I just felt like this is where you're supposed to be. And within like 24 to 48 hours, my process, like being so like stuck in that place, like the Lord just really just flipped me back and just put me back where I had been.
One of your friends, I guess, is listening as well, Sharon Watts.
Hi, Sharon. Miss Sharon, yeah.
Yeah.
She's so sweet, Sharon.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that they're supporting you here,
Yeah,
on this platform.
absolutely.
Lisa, you're still running full capacity, aren't you?
We are running at full capacity. I think we have 2 open beds right now, and they did some interviewing last week, and I believe they have filled both of those spaces as well. So it's it's always a little, again, a heartache for us, because you look at this big, long list of people, and it's not just about picking quote unquote the right person. It is really listening to the Lord and saying like, who should we bring in? And they also have to be a good fit for the people that are already being there. So, you hear Jessica's story, and she's just one of 9 women that live on that campus, and they all have stories, and they all have history, and they all have triggers and trauma. And so, we have to keep all of that in mind. And our family campus is even more complicated because we're bringing in children.
Right.
So, for example, if we bring an 11-year-old boy and he's got sexual trauma in his history, and we've got little girls on that campus, those are all things we have to take into consideration, and really spend a lot of time seeking counsel from each other, and spending a lot of time praying, seeking counsel from the Lord as well.
What about her story was it that compelled you? Well, you probably hear stories like this more than once.
So surprisingly, I'm not usually in the interviewing process anymore. But because we had just brought in a new housing director, I actually was in her interview. And she was a unanimous yes for us. So I think there was 4 of us, maybe 5 of us in the interviewing process. And she was definitely a unanimous yes for us. I think because there was such a brokenness in her and such a humble spirit. And we could tell, one of the biggest difficulties for us is getting people to submit to the program. We know they need help. Sometimes they're like, oh, I need help. But then when you get them in, they don't submit to the program, and they don't submit to the counseling. They don't submit to our counsel. They don't submit to their case manager. And we could tell that Jess was just so broken, but also her age is because she's older, we're like, okay, this lady's been through life. Like a lot of the residents that we have are under the age of 35, and they're not as humbled by the world. Humbled by experience. So I think, I don't know. You just kind of know when you know. We're like, yes. And so I think for me, what drew me to her specifically was just how humble she was and how broken she was at that time. And I was like, this is a lady who I feel like if we bring her in, she knows that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and she's gonna put 100% into this program. And she absolutely has.
Right.
Well, on the other side of the next round of sponsors, I wanted to ask about what responsibilities you have in this program, because it isn't just living there, because
Correct.
I've become well, I've gotten fairly familiar with Lisa's program, and it's all sorts of professional level counseling, and not just a bed and maybe a kitchen hot plate or something like that. So it's because it's a full on experience. And also I'd ask you about, where do you see this leading to? Because I know there is a time limit of sorts.
Yep.
And, what is the end goal here? But let's run through these really quickly. You probably know Gail at Southern Gym. She's going to be the guest on Thursday. And because she's got all this Christmas stuff going on. And she had a big open house last week that was exceeded their expectations. So
good for her.
Yeah.
I have finally been in there. I think every time I'm like, I've not been in there yet, but now I can say I've been in there.
Yeah, it's a very nice store, isn't it?
It's very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
They have people that come a long way, too.
They have very unique pieces. And Brad and I travel a lot internationally. And so I love jewelry stores from other cultures because they're so unique. And Southern Gem really captures some of that uniqueness.
Well, See, you got to do this for a living. Or wait, you kind of do anyway. Anyway. But thank you, though. I look forward to having her on the show because she's part of the BNI group I'm in, and we just love her. I mean, because she's very sweethearted. Also, another gentleman that's in the BNI group, Old Pro Roofing with John Williams, 817-734-2756. We just got through a lot of rain, and I was, I had peace of mind because he had inspected my roof, and I didn't have to worry about it leaking.
Yeah.
That really did help. And he'll come on and check out your roof, too. And particularly, we're going to get close to that winter weather, and we may have a ice storm or two. Supposedly, the Farmer's Almanac is saying that we're going to have a cold and wet winter.
You know what? I'm a Farmer's Almanac fan. My
Really?
husband makes fun of me. Turner makes fun of me. They're like, Mom. But I was like, but I've been right the last 4 or 5 years. I haven't been right. Farmer's Almanac has been right.
Well, my father-in-law told my wife that if you have an unusually high number of acorns falling out of the oak trees like we have, that's another sign. And like, okay, well, I'm not going to argue with my father-in-law, So anyway, 817-734-2756. Also, our new company here in town for mortgage brokers, Camco, with Sammy Campbell and Candy Gal. Candy's also a member of BNI. And these two ladies have been in the Burleson area for a long, long time. So we're not talking about a brand new company. Sammy Campbell's been here. Well, I know at least 20 years because I've used her twice to do some refinancing when I needed some money for college funding and then some home repairs. And Candy was her assistant, and now they're partners in Camco. And it's really they were on the show about a week ago, change, and they had some stories about the interest rates. So if you want to know what's going on, talk to Shandy, talk to Candy, talk to Sammy because they'll give you the story of what's going on. Sammy's at 817-778-4592. Candy is at 817-925-2661, and they're here in town. They're in the B&G building, that standalone building in the south part of the parking lot on the third floor. Also, this is a new sponsor for a little while. We got a little temporary thing going, and I hope it works for them. Cobb Plumbing. Everybody knows Cobb Plumbing in Burleson. They've been here since 1970, and Matt Cobb is now the new owner and operator of Cobb Plumbing. So give him a holler. He sent me some stuff. I'm going to just read off what he asked me to read off because I don't have it all memorized yet, but they do residential and plumbing service for repairs, sinks, faucets. They've been in my home a couple of times fixing toilets. I remember one time, another time we had some problems with the hot water heater. Also, they've been in business for 4 generations since 1948, but they've been in Burleson since 1970. And also, he says if you mention this show, you'll get 10% off your next service call. So show them some love, show them some business. I need the help too. So check it all out. But the Cobb Plumbing has a great reputation and a well-deserved one. All right. Now, what is Jessica, your responsibilities? It's like I said, it's more than just a bed and a flop house. What do you have to do to maintain your status in this program?
So we have what's called a ISP, which is the Individual Spiritual Plan, right? Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. So which we're actually getting up. We go once a month, and they check us once a week. We have to set up our own appointments, and there's certain requirements. So we meet with
which is a big deal.
It really is.
We don't chase them down to and we will the first 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks to kind of get them in that rhythm. But by the time where she's at, it's this is your responsibility. You have to set up your own appointments.
Right. And so, so setting up our appointment with our caseworker, our case manager, which is Steph, and going over our individual plan. Then we have our counseling that's required, which is our biblical counseling, which I absolutely appreciate very much because it's led by the Holy Spirit, which I think is amazing. And then we have a chore that we have inspections once a week. And so we, Tammy is the one that comes in. She's our coordinator. She comes in and she checks the house, makes sure that we're doing our chore. We have a communal chore that we're required to do. We have weekly chores that we're required to do and to pay attention to those. And, those are just necessary in living in a communal environment, which has been very different for me, which is not a bad thing. It's a growing experience. And so, but I'm grateful because, we're learning boundaries that we didn't even know we needed to set. And knowing that, okay, it's like you work during the day, but you're working nights. So we have certain times of the day where there's just open space, it's just but we still try to take and be aware of the people around us and what's going on within them, and having that respect, that mutual respect for each other and where they're at in their growth and where they're at spiritually. Because some people don't even understand, like they don't have an experience with the Lord, or they don't on such an intimate level. They might know God, but they don't know the relationship side of it. And so it's a very different thing. So anyway, so I love that we have to track and communicate with our team. They're kind of like our extended family team. I like to call them my family. And so, we're in charge of doing that. We receive Bread Connection. I think they just moved it to once a month instead of every 2 weeks. Because a lot of people are going to different food banks and stuff. And so we're not overstocking space, and we're actually utilizing what's in the house, and so we appreciate the donations that do come in.
Do you personally go to these food pantries? Have you done that?
I've been to one. I'm actually going to be doing one on the 4th because I have food allergies, and so, which I don't love to claim, but I have to. There's just, my body just responds differently to certain things, so I really need to eat more organic things.
Oh, okay. Well,
and so there's a little bit more fresh vegetables, things like that. Because I had a homestead, like I had 5 acres. So, I like to grow my own food. And I've gained a lot of weight this last couple of years, which I really need to trim it down. That's why I'm drinking microgreens today. So there's just things that in my health that the Lord has just brought to my attention that I really need to be attentive to.
Well, I talk to a couple food banks every month, and, and one of the shortages they have is vegetables. And they got canned stuff, they got boxed stuff, but they don't have the vegetables.
Right.
And they have certain rules they have to follow.
Most of our residents have food stamps. And so for most of them, food is not an issue for us. So we really have to cut back and limit how much they're allowed to go to food banks, because Jess is not like this, but a lot of our residents kind of have that poverty mentality. Comes with it's basically a more is not enough mentality. And so they feel a safety in getting more food because they have that fear of starving or being in lack. And so for us, it can become an issue of having too much food. Now, South Campus is not too bad, but on our family campus, we have some of our residents have a bad habit of going from food bank to food bank to food bank to food bank, and then we're constantly throwing away food. And so probably about once a week we have to go through the pantry, and there's just too much food, and it's molded and it's old and it's unusable. And so for us personally, most of our residents have the food stamps. Now with singles, it's kind of a toss of the dice in the state of Texas as to whether or not you're going to get food stamps. It's kind of really odd. We can't ever tell who will, who won't.
Yeah.
Right.
But you don't go there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I do, and
he was going to go political. That's why I was like, don't go there.
No, I'll save that for other shows.
That's all good. So, but I do know that we are graded on our ISP. So we're graded, and so once a month we have a meeting, and we are graded on the goals that we have, and we write our own goals. Spiritually, we're required to go to church once a week. That's that. But we're not required to go to Bible study, but that's something that if we are able to, we enjoy.
And you choose the church,
yeah,
right? Okay.
And we get to choose where we want to go. Like wherever we're led, there's no requirement in that.
And the purpose of that is we believe the stronger your tribe is, the more likely you are to succeed. And we realize that you're going to be at Crazy 8 Ministries for 2, maybe 3 years. And we need you to develop a tribe outside of us that you feel safe in, that you have fellowship, that knows your story, and can continue that support even after you're gone. And so for us, we find that in the churches, and we encourage all of our residents to attend church, but yes, they can pick whatever church they want, whatever their style of worship is, whatever whatever doctrine they want. There's no judgment in any of that.
Okay.
No, there's not.
Well, sometimes I get the impression when you talk about living facilities, in my head, sometimes I think it's like a big communal space. You have maybe your own bedroom, but it's like a sorority house or something like that. Yeah, it's not like that at all. You have your own kitchen, your own.
Well, no, we don't have. No, we. So
sorry.
Okay, so here, let me. So
right.
so in the facility that I'm in, so if you walk in the main door, the laundry room's to the left. There's a little storage space in there. That's where my fridge is, and I share my fridge. We have multiple fridges and freezers throughout the house. So then go down the hall.
Multiply that times 8 buildings.
Yeah, yeah. And And I don't know if we're the smallest one or not.
No, you're not. You are the smallest.
Are we the smallest? So like if you walk down the hall, there's 3 bedrooms. And then there's the pantry, and then we have like our bathroom. We have a big
Communal
bathroom. So we've got 2 stalls. We have a big shower. Like if you were in a wheelchair, you could get in there. Okay. And so we have like shelving and spaces in the pantry. There's another fridge and a deep freezer, and then there's like shelves. And we each individually get our own shelves in the and like in our fridge and freezer. So it's labeled. So we have like 2 shelves, 2 drawers. Same thing on the freezers. And so it's just respecting that space. And so then we do share the kitchen and the dining area. We share, there's like a communal like TV room where there's a couch and we can watch TV if we want or whatever the case. And
Which
then
is unique to the singles campus.
Right. Is it? I don't even know. And so I don't really go in there much. I mean, maybe
you guys really don't go in there a whole lot. And there's been times we've had to, you know, with a family campus, it's hard to monitor what everybody's being watching, and parents get complaining, and so they don't have that same freedom that you guys have.
There you go.
Well, I mean,
every campus has a little bit of a different demographic, and we have to be willing to adjust. And so it was probably about 2 years ago that we were like, we really feel like singles campus would benefit from a place where they could kind of cultivate community instead of just sitting in hard chairs, because we saw you guys doing, you weren't there at that point, but we saw that campus really becoming a place where they were developing a lot of fellowship and community, because there's not kids running around screaming, and you don't have that bickering going on with moms. I mean, it's a completely different dynamic than our family campus.
Well, I was just thinking, though, you have, what you said, 9 of y'all in this building? You know, do y'all
there's
ever,
going to be 9, yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 more that are coming in, I believe, right?
I'm just thinking, do y'all ever kind of, you know, it's my turn in the kitchen kind of thing, and y'all bump heads? Or
Honestly,
y'all pretty good?
Like,
Okay.
we're pretty good about that. Like, if somebody wants to cook, like, when I came in, like, that was one thing that was kind of healing for me is cooking. And I really enjoyed to cook, but I kind of stepped away from it, like, because that was something that Ernie really enjoyed, and that was really difficult for me. So it was a really healing thing for me. But now my schedule's gotten busy, so I'm not home at night to be able to cook, but everybody takes turns. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like if somebody wants to cook a meal, they're going to cook a meal. You know, sometimes people are just cooking stuff and warming things up in the microwave, or like, hey, I want to cook for everybody tonight. So like, who's wanting to eat with me tonight?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm going to cook. You know, I've got plenty. Does everybody want to come in? You know, Rachel will buy pizza and like bring it in. It's like, hey, there's pizza for everybody, you know? So we're very, very, there's a lot of sense of respect and community in that. And so like usually if somebody will cook, there's other people that will put stuff away. If they're not there when, you know, they'll clean up. So
it's like a house full of moms. Right. Except without the kid. And I mean, they're just, the South Campus, a lot of the ladies are a little bit older. And when by older, I mean like over the age of 30 again, which is an older, whereas our family campus, most of our residents are somewhere between the age of 18 and 35.
That must be a fun campus.
And they have a lot of little kids. They have a lot of itty bitties, and so it's very, very busy. And I do want to I want to give a shout out to Heart 8. We get their leftover meat every week. And so every Monday at the main campus, you don't get to see all this, but at main camp, I guess maybe you have.
No, we've had some of it come through, but we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good.
So
like we try to rotate it through.
Yeah. So we've had to share with other churches because there's so much meat that comes through. Again, so for us, we are just abundantly blessed with food and provisions of food.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Well, that's great community service by Heart 8, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
it's very popular too.
Yeah,
so
yeah, and we share with like First United Methodist of Joshua because they have a food, food ministry, and so they really appreciate getting the meats. And so for us, we seal it every week. We freeze dried it or whatever you do with the sealing thing, and label it, give it the date, and then we put it in those deep freezes. And I think your campus, correct me if I'm wrong, has eight refrigerators and freezers, maybe 9.
1, 2. There's 4 fridges and 3 deep freezers.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 7.
Yeah. So
And you guys are short one right now because I know
No.
we just got a volunteer. Well,
did we?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're about
okay.
to put another one in there. So
I don't know where that's going, but we'll figure it'll
well,
come
one's
together.
coming out. There's a small one coming out and a bigger one going in
got you,
because you
got
have
you.
those 2 new residents coming in, and so
Right,
we've got to create that space.
But yeah, I could tell you another church in Cleveland that probably is starting a food pantry. Hope Church. I don't know if you know them. their pastor is
Todd.
Todd, yes, you know Todd Barham.
Todd Barham.
And I know the Barham family, all of them, and they're wonderful people. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know he started a food pantry at his church, so maybe swing some by over there. But you know, it's amazing though how many people step up to the plate, so to speak, literally and otherwise, to help people out.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sure that heartache could probably find some other purpose of that meat, but they know what they're doing is a good thing to do. So that's very kind of them. And and that's what Burleson's been about. I've done a lot of shows with these nonprofits. You picked the right place to come. You know, I don't know about New Braunfels. My cousin used to live there, and that's all I know about it. But you picked the right area to come to because there's a lot of groups just like Lisa's.
Right.
Yeah.
I honestly, this was all led by the Lord. This was like divine connection. Like I really feel that. Like I truly, truly feel that. Because I really wanted to be around people that I could learn from, not only to walk out what the Lord is asking of me, but to have a good balance, just really good mentors and teachers around. That was something that I was praying to the Lord before I lost my house.
Yeah.
And I just was really drawn to this place.
The
And
Lord took her
so-
very seriously.
Yes.
He really did. He wasn't joking. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
there you go.
So, fun fact, Jessica actually works at Moretti's Gourmet Olive Oils as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you had a job. But,
I do.
I didn't want to be too personal.
No,
but-
you're
No.
good. So she works
Yeah.
there. And again, we've just recently employed her. So Brad and I are the owners of Moretti's. We also employ another resident who works there as well. And there was a little bit of, I think, challenge with Jess, especially in the beginning because of the disabilities and the physical limitations. And so I was like, first and foremost, I have to mention that she's being healed physically as she's healing mentally and emotionally.
Yes.
So
Yes.
physical healing is 100% manifesting in her body. So
Yes.
the pain is starting to go away, if not all completely gone.
The majority of the chronic pain that I have had for like 20 years, the majority of it has gone.
So
Like,
we've
that happened-
watched her physically, her body physically respond as she has mentally, emotionally, and circumstantially healed. And all of that is connected. You know, I tell people, how many of you know if I don't feel well, I'm not going to function well. And if I don't function well, I don't feel well. Right.
Right.
So it's all connected. And so as she's been healing and we're like, okay, we need to hire somebody for the Christmas season. We could use somebody creative. We could use somebody who's talkative and good with customers, which clearly she is. And I
Yes.
was like, oh my gosh. And the first thing Brad and I always do is we look for a resident. That's one of the reasons why we bought the shop is we wanted to create employment. We've employed people, a lot of residents who have that annual probation or that weekly probation meeting. That's 2 to 3 hours. Well, who's going to employ you when you're like, but I'm going to miss every Wednesday afternoon from 12 to 4 because I got to sit in court, you know? And we'll employ you. And so Jess has been a dynamic addition, not just to our Crazy 8 family, but also to our family at Moretti's. I know,
and I love it.
Our store manager is like, how many hours can I give her? Because I really like her and we could really use her. So it's been phenomenal watching her kind of come out, getting that creative flow going again for
Right.
you has been healing as well. So anyways, I wanted to make sure we mentioned, because all of that is imperative to her healing is getting a job. And so being able to provide all that and that getting a job and stepping into some sort of purpose is crucial to the identity as a believer and as a human being. I mean, it's the very first thing God did with Adam is he gave him a purpose.
Well, we're getting close here, but I'd like to know what your end goal is, so to speak. I mean, in a couple of years, where do you see yourself?
Purchasing property for the ministry the Lord's blessed me with and
Okay.
trust me with.
Okay.
Yeah. She's got some
Yeah.
big dreams, which are good.
It is really good. In my discipleship class last year, the Lord gave me the name of my of the ministry, and I thought, okay, that is just hysterical. Because I was like, no, why? And he's like, but now with everything going on and what he's bringing me into, and just the new level of understanding, it's just really makes so much sense.
So you want to have a ministerial outlet as well.
Yeah, because it's a different dynamic than what Lisa does. But it's actually to have property where men and women that have been put in the prison system for over 10 years to reteach them how to function in society and not to reoffend because they're overwhelmed by what how fast life is now,
Yeah.
and to have that relationship with God and know that they've been forgiven. And I've never been in prison, so I'm like, why? I don't understand that. But that's one of the things, like the Lord, because I'm a person of action. I'm a person that learns from action. So the Lord did reveal to me, even in this situation, this is a teaching moment for me to understand what the dynamics look like, because I need to see it, experience it, to know it, so that I can really help people the way that the Lord is asking me to. Because He told me, He says, you're going to feed my children spiritually and physically, because I was a homesteader. I know how to grow food. I know how to can and preserve, and to teach people how to get back to the basics of what God is that was His design. And so I've been taking notes. I've been writing down. And so that's really what my plan is to honor Him in that.
Well, I can absolutely endorse that, because that is one of the hardest things that I've been made aware of, just how hard it is for people that serve time in jail. I mean, it's like it's a lifelong sentence.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we're supposed to be trying to rehabilitate people and put them back into society and all this other stuff, but a lot of people aren't given that chance.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'd like to see this succeed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Me too.
Well, a couple of just cleanup items here. Taylor, do you want to put that notice about your particular offer you're making, or are you still making that offer?
I can still make it.
Okay.
And it says it ended last week, but I will extend it for your viewers. I'm doing half off highlight videos for your business. It's normally $1,500. It makes it $750.
Bargain.
It's a perfect way to get ahead of the holidays. It's good for like any promotional items, events you might be having, home tours if you're a realtor, any fun stuff like that. I run it through the end of the week.
Well,
$750. Hit me up.
hit them up. Yesterday I started to put together that show I'm going to have on the 20th of November, the Burleson Business Show, and I went by BS
You should have
Trading.
talked to me first.
You should have talked to me about Moretti's.
Well,
You should have talked to me about
I
filming
put
it
it
for
on
you.
Facebook dozens of times.
I'm not a Facebooker.
All right, we'll talk after the
I'm
show.
a TikToker
All
and
right.
a YouTuber.
All right, I put it on dozens of times, but anyway.
We'll chat afterwards.
But no, I did BS Supply, and I did, our friend Jessica Valley Reams over to her program Fitability, because, I had to talk about, don't let yourself go at Christmas time and that kind of thing. So,
Lord.
so I'm looking for, I have 3 or 4 others that have already contacted me, but I need to talk to you. I was going to talk to you about it as well.
For sure.
Also, let's talk about that, lastly, that Ocho Loco thing.
All right. I think we got a graphic here. In 3, 2, 1.
There it is.
There it is. All right. So this Saturday, you can join us at Chisholm Hall Fields, 8 a.m. You can walk, you can run, or you can sleep in and support. Look, you can sleep in. You're still going to get a T-shirt. People are going to think you ran when you didn't.
Hey,
I
that's a
mean,
good
there
deal.
you go. So it's only $30 to run. If you show up at the door, it will be $35. So get registered today. We would love to have you guys. And we found out yesterday that apparently Holy Cross Christian is doing a fun run the exact same day, the exact same time, which we were excited about. We're like, let's partner up, let's do it together. So they'll be there as well. So if you are not doing anything on Saturday and you're like, hey, let's support a good mission, you could run with them, you could run with us. We don't really care. Just get involved in the community and support your local organizations. So that's why I tell people with North Texas Giving Day, give to somebody. I don't care. Like, we'll take your money at Crazy 8, but if you're not going to do Crazy 8, pick somebody, get involved in what God is doing in our community, and be a part of sowing seed into local organizations.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate y'all being here, because I'm always impressed with these programs. I get the privilege of showing to the community. I'm in a very lucky place, a very fortunate place, because I get to sit here and see all the good things being done. Keeps me from turning too cynical, I guess.
Yeah.
I hope so. But, it's really great to see all the people in our community, and they all work together. She may have told you, but we had a group show, and they all just bond together. It's really nice.
That's awesome.
And we'll work out a time to go by Moretti's. Okay.
That sounds awesome.
Yep, come and see
it's-
me. I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, and rest of y'all, if you want to get part of the piece of the action, you know where to find me. And I'll see you on Thursday with Gayla. Next week, I have the Chamber, and then I have Larry Scott, then Dan McClendon. So I got a full week coming up. We'll see y'all Thursday.